What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. We're back. We were back with NBA basketball. I could not be more excited. I would have said I was getting burnt out before the break, but the truth is that I was doing really well. And I actually was feeling great. And then the break happened and had a great personal time, a great family time. But basically, yeah, we're back at it now. And been on a winning streak, both us and the good people over here at excuse me, I just got a mouse battery low as we were getting started, which is a little bit strange because I didn't even know my mouse was chargeable. I thought it was just automatically. I don't know what I thought actually. Anyway, we're gonna get into it today. We're gonna talk about BetQL, some of our favorite picks, some of our favorite plays, some of our favorite trends. We are going to talk a little bit of DFS. We're going to talk a little bit about RotoQL, and we're going to tell you who's going to make you some money tonight. One thing I wanted to point out off the bat for those of you who wonder how this BetQL stuff has been working and how it's been going for them so far. I just want to point out, I'm going to pull up my actual facts so I don't get anything wrong here because I felt very impressed by this. So basically, BetQL's NBA model has been 45, 26, and 2 across its last 73 five-star spread bets heading into the All-Star break. That's a really good record, so you might want to look at those five-star spread bets are something that you would probably want to take advantage of. We're at 64% right now, almost 64%. I think that's a really, really good thing to take advantage of. I really, really like all the way that you get the betting options so easily here. Like we have our game of the day here, which unfortunately we only have a 2-star rating on, and with the Bucks minus 13, it's an interesting situation with that one because just to get right into it, I guess I think Giannis is going to play. Like nothing weird is going to happen there. It wouldn't make sense after the All-Star game and break why he wouldn't. There's a lot of blowout risk in this game, obviously, from a DFS perspective. It's got me worried. I would tend to want to stay away from double-digit spreads in the modern-day NBA. That's just my personal preference and how I do my betting. But you can see that it's a pretty good spot, obviously, to attack from a DFS perspective some of these Bucks, especially Giannis, I think. And from just an NBA betting perspective, I think you're getting a lot. I just think you're getting a little too creative to make this bet on this slate for me personally. And you see where we've got it right here. I mean, this is just not the overwhelming, exciting bet of the day for me personally, but it is to give you an example of some of the free stuff we can offer. We can't give it all away because people pay good money for this and for good reason. This is a very valuable tool. So we need to make sure that we're doing this the right way. While my mouse is charging, it's going to be a little bit slower to go between screens here. That looks like the same screen I was just on, so let's get out of here. And sorry about this, guys. It's usually a little bit easier for me, but you know what? We're coming back off the break. We're going to kick the rust off a little bit, and we're going to talk about how we're going to make some money tonight. I think I just accidentally loaded two of the same screens, but I want to make sure because I just started with BetQL, RotoQL, that I'm not giving away too much information of theirs. So I'm just really cautious on making sure that I'm not giving away everything because, like I said, there's a lot of people paying good money for this, and it would be unfair to give it all away for free. You can go ahead and sign up and get 30% off your first month using the promo code BobbyFi. I think it's a great deal. It's a great site, obviously one that I use quite a bit. So I think it's definitely something that is worthwhile. It's something that I subscribed to for years before I ever started with any other site. And what I would say about the RotoQL part of it from a DFS perspective, you've got basically a really, really good situation because if you play tournaments like I do and who's giving you the information, the tournament guy, we have the projections are just a little more aggressive over here. It's a little bit more tournament oriented. We're giving a little bit more of a higher grade to some players that are a little off. Like one guy I wanted to point out who we do have on RotoQL today, without giving away too much, but Harry Giles is projecting much higher on RotoQL than he is on pretty much across all the other sites in the industry. I think that that's an interesting play because I was already considering him potentially as a pivot to and adding to Shaq Harrison, a pivot from and adding to, I should say. I think that there's an interesting value there. So I think it's kind of interesting when I saw their projections just being basically almost like a projection of basically like 6 points higher almost than some of these other sites that I'm looking at. That's a significant difference when you're talking about a 3,400 player on DraftKings, and that's what we were referring to there. I'm going to want you guys to ask questions. I'm going to want you to give us the thumbs up. We're going to fine tune the show. We're going to get all the bells and whistles and everything figured out and organized. And I'm not used to working without a producer, so it's a little bit different for me, but we're going to do the best we can in the meantime. And until we get the exact screen shares that we're going to be doing every time right, I want to answer your questions. I want to talk sports betting. I want to talk your favorite bets of the day. There is a bet that I wanted to mention. And again, I'm not going to give everything away on BetQL. I actually have it opened here because I'm not logged in because I wanted to show you guys the free screens. But there are there's a game today that I really like, and I'll give you what BetQL says, and I'll open it on another window. But I really like this Warriors-Rockets game to crush the over. I don't think people are adjusting quite to quite how fast Houston will play. Now, what worries me is I could see this being a blowout, just a dirty game. But I have a feeling the Warriors play. I actually like the Warriors plus 10, and I'm a Rockets guy because I'm a Westbrook guy. I like the Warriors plus 10, and I like the over. Honestly, it could be 3 or 4 points higher. I still probably would take the over. I really like this spot a great deal for the Rockets. I'm sorry, for the Warriors. I am going to see just what the BetQL people do think of it, and I'm going to have to log in on my other screen because I'm curious where we have that one, and I don't want to give it all away. But I'm just curious because usually when I have an instinct lately, it's pretty much matched up with BetQL. And by the way, I mean, my first week with the company to make six figures from DFS is a pretty, to profit six figures is a pretty good week for me. So I think this is working out really, really well for me, and hopefully it is for you guys as well. Again, get QQs in. I'll rapid fire answer all of them. We're going to run for about a half hour today. Again, we're still fine tuning all the ways to do this, but we're just we want your feedback. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what you want to hear from me. Tell us what you don't want to hear, and let me know. That's basically where I'm at. I'm logging in over here because I need to see exactly what we've got. Oops, I've got the wrong. I entered myself in from Alabama by accident and then from California, but I think I'll be okay. Well, maybe not because it's not opening. Anyway, getting back to it, that's a bet that you can take from my side of it. Actually, we've got it a little lower. We've got it a little bit more on the 2-star side of things over here. Or, that's giving a little too much away, but I think it's okay to say. Leaning a little bit Rockets way. I get it. I just think that this is a spot where I'm going to, maybe they're a little sluggish off the break. You know, James Harden's a partier. I'm sure that he had ample time to do his strip clubs and all that. But it's just probably worth keeping in mind that you could see Draymond showing up for this one from a DFS perspective. I like this game quite a bit for DFS. I think it's a small slate for DFS, just to jump into that. But I do think it's a good one. And you've got James Harden. You've got Westbrook, who are both firmly in play, and you can run it back with all of these Warriors because they're not all. It's not that they're all too cheap, but the way the Rockets play, you really get that ceiling type of environment that you want from a DFS perspective. Hence the fact that I like the over in the game, which is also something I like to do quite a bit as well. All right, Eric, love to have you here, buddy. Thanks so much. Thoughts on a blowout with Houston game as well? I'm worried. Like I told you, I can see worrying about it, but I'm actually leaning the other way on this one. I'm going against the grain. I'm going with the home team, and I think that we're going to get the over. And I don't want to bet so much on the spread, but I do like it a little bit. But I really like the over. That's what my heavy bet is. Can you fade Shaq Harrison in GPPs? Okay, yes, you can. One of the ways is by playing Harry Giles, who can outscore him. One of the ways is by doing neither and playing a middling lineup. Those are two very, very logical options. And to the BetQL and RotoQL people out there, I wanted to say, I'm going to focus this show on the sports betting, but we're going to get questions that are going to come from DFS because these are the people who follow me. So we're going to have to go back and forth a little bit between the two. Gafford for a cheap value play. I think he's another interesting pivot you could make a case for over Shaq Harrison. One thing to keep in mind about the Shaq Harrison, why it's maybe a little more volatile than people think. Shaq Harrison is not a phenomenally high usage guy. He has been a couple times in spots like this in the past, and I think people remember that. But that was like without Levine, who's still there, without Satoransky, who wasn't on the team then. Even though Hutchison is gone, it doesn't mean he has to get all the run. The guy who I'm looking at is Luke Cornett as an interesting tournament pivot. So I just keep that one in mind. Luke Cornett. I'm playing big tonight too, by the way. I'm ready. I've been building up some energy. I'm ready to get going. I'm excited. I'm making some bets. I'm betting the Houston over. I already gave you that one as one of my bets for free. And again, so much good information over here. I haven't even gotten to reading some of the great information we're giving you from BetQL because I want to answer some more of your questions. Eric, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate the kind words. Going over game by game on FanDuel. I don't like doing game by game breakdowns on FanDuel, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, FanDuel, the skill of the game is you're betting against the positions. You're trying to win positions while or lose them moderately if you're going to pay down somewhere that you can outscore other positions in. It's a very different type of build. So I would go position by position with some FanDuel plays, but I'm going to wait a little bit later to do that in the show. But I do think it's a good idea. Wait, Shaq is. Oh yeah, Harrison. There you go. Thad Young, absolutely in play, but like again, don't feel like overwhelmingly, hey, I'm going to lock him in. I'll give you some of my ownerships a little bit later on in the show. And again, I want to focus a little bit more on some of the sports betting stuff, and we will talk some more DFS as we progress throughout the show. Another couple things to keep in mind: the Sixers are 25-2 at home, and they're hosting the Nets tonight. What do we need to know to bet on that as a money line game? Now we've got obviously not a great spread, and we might even not have a Ben Simmons, which is creating all kinds of fantasy goodness that we aren't even ready for yet. I'm going to have to think about that one, because I'm going to plan as if when players get midday downgrades, I usually count on them being out. It's not all the time, and the guy like Simmons right after the break, this is kind of a weird one. So I'm just sort of wondering what I'm going to end up doing there, but he's certainly on my mind. And from just a straight sports betting perspective, here you look at the line, and I don't think it affects the line that much, but it's 7.5. I just feel like, again, I prefer this as a money line bet, but if I was going to make a bet on this game, I would go on Philly and give the 7.5. I think that's okay. I think it's a really interesting way to go, actually. Again, can't give you away what we have in here, but I'm going to take a quick look to see what we've got on BetQL, because I want to confirm if they're on the same page as me with Philly tonight. I actually worry a little bit about this Philly game not getting out of hand, but I think you might see a re-energized Embiid. It sucks that he's going to be super popular because he's a great play. Here we go. It's loading up real quick, and we're going to get Philly versus Brooklyn, see what we think. I can't give the exact details, but let's just say I feel good. It's like a sense of confirmation when BetQL does agree with me this strongly. And it's not all the way, but it's high enough. It's high enough of a percentage where I think we can comfortably bet on Philly, give the 7.5. I especially like waiting, though. I would like to hear. I think you might be able to get this game at like 6 or 6.5 if you potentially lose Simmons, and I don't think it really is going to matter all that much in this particular matchup, especially with the new depth they've added in the backcourt in Philly. So that's a route that I'm willing to go. Certainly one that I'm interested in. Guys, keep getting QQs in. And again, I'm going to say we're getting some more viewers, so let's get the thumbs up. Please give us the like. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. And look, this is not something I'm working with this company because I'm betting on BetQL. I'm betting on RotoQL because I don't need anything from them. I'm making good money playing DFS. What I believe in is the product, and I believe that we can have a great future working together. And that's what we're doing here. So please give us the like, the thumbs up, and show them that I'm doing a good job. And honestly, if I'm not doing a good job, tell me I'm not doing a good job in the chat. That's fine with me. Tell me what I could do better. Tell me what else you want to see. Again, we're going to get to the FanDuel stuff, but I do want to focus on some really, really good sports bets that I felt like from tonight. I am not an XFL bettor, but we're going to get into more XFL stuff as the season progresses. And I just wanted to point that one out. Another highlight I wanted to bring you guys to was the Kings are 9-16-1 against the spread at home this season. I'll tell you what, my initial thoughts were that the Kings should be favored in this game. I think De'Aaron Fox goes nuts. I love this game also. I mean, look, there's a lot of good games for DFS. That's what I said. But I think De'Aaron Fox absolutely goes at Morant. I think Morant goes right back at him. I think you're going to see a good battle in this one. I would tend to lean a little bit Kings, even though the trends are telling me different. So what that's going to make me do in the situation, and this is, I think, an important point when it comes to overall straight sports betting. When you see a trend that disagrees with what you sort of think will happen, unless you have a really strong hardcore belief, which I didn't, I had a belief that maybe the Kings are going to win this game. I don't feel incredibly strong either way or one way or the other. But I just think when you see the trends like that and then you start thinking about it, maybe it's enough to just make you want to lay and just not make the bet on that game personally. That's where I'm at. I'm going to take, again, not going to give it away, but I'm going to take a quick look at where we're at over here on my side screen on BetQL in that game because I'm just curious. I want to see where I'm lining up, where I'm stacking up with the BetQL people, with the BetQL bets. And usually I will go through it before the show, and that'll affect my DFS decisions. again, with Ben Simmons being questionable, it's affected a lot of my DFS decisions. So I haven't really done. I did my initial research, and then now everything is just waiting on Ben Simmons basically, and whatever else we might hear. But I don't think it's going to be too much today. And that's with the sports betting angle, I don't think it makes that much difference. Like I said, I don't think Philly changes much for me either way. I would kind of lean the over a little bit in that Philly game personally. That's just me. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick hit on that one. What was the game we were also going to get into? Because there was another one that I had circled. Just one quick thing about the Kings Grizzlies. So I really just think that this is a stay away for me. But if I'm going to bet, it's going to be on the It's going to be on the Kings going against the trend of being 9-16-1. Look, you have honestly, Luke Walton has been so awful this year. It does feel weird to ever bet on this team. But I just see this as a game the Kings get up for. I really like this game, again, for DFS purposes. I think it goes under-owned a little bit compared to what it should be. We don't have, again, sort of like I was saying, like not a hugely strong take on our bets on BetQL from this game, even though, look, it's intriguing to see a team against like basically a team full of rookies getting 1.5 at home. You don't see that often, and and they're just like Memphis is also like they're going to start to struggle. They're going to have rookies hit the wall. I know it's just after the All-Star break, but this is a team that I think is going to really have to battle for that 8th playoff spot. I love Memphis. They're this year's Kings. Again, I'm leaning. I would like to even say I want the over in this one, but this over-under is so high that it's actually got me a little bit nervous. But I do think I would lean the over, and I would lean the Kings, but I would probably lay on that game. That's just sort of where I'm at. All right, let's get to some of your guys' questions, some of your thoughts. And we got some of the QLTV people who will drop things in chat and, throughout the show. I'll occasionally drop it. I also come up as QLTV for now. But you'll know it's me because of what I'm saying probably. Let's see. Warriors getting too many points. I'm with you, Alex. I'm with you. A little bit on that page. Oscar's asking, what are my thoughts on West over Harden for GPPs? I like Westbrook a little bit better on DraftKings. I like Harden a little bit better on FanDuel. That's about where I'm at. I like the Covington pieces in that game. I like the PJ Tucker as a pivot off of Embiid at center on FanDuel, just as like a long shot play. I think he's kind of interesting. Is Ben Simmons injury a worry? Absolutely. If there's a in-day downgrade, that's something you gotta be concerned with a little bit. So we're gonna have to wait on that one. I'm gonna pretend that it's a real thing because that seems real. By the way, I want to just add that we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We're getting more and more people coming in, and I think it's gonna be 10 times this number in pretty much a short period of time based on the feedback we've been getting on the first shows and how well we've done together. So give us the like, the thumbs up, and we really appreciate it. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. We were talking about. QLTV mentioned about the XFL content. Look, these guys, if you haven't read these articles, and again, I can't show them to you because you have to pay for it. But if you haven't read this stuff, this is really, you could be an expert sports bettor or a total novice, and you will get value out of what the product is. I can promise you that right now. Anyway, if Simmons out, what are my thoughts on Rel Nato or just fade and go Jay Rich? I'm wondering, I think Jay Rich is more where I'm leaning, but Neto would become an interesting pivot. I don't love it, to be honest with you. I don't think I would play him, but I'd be interested to see who the starting lineup is before I make decisions. If somehow like a Burks or a G-Rob GR3 is in, which he actually probably will be anyway, but I could consider that. You'd think Westbrook would be more owned? I think Harden will be far higher owned on FanDuel, and on DraftKings, I think Harden might be about the same, maybe a little higher. Todd Lang, you found me. All right, buddy. Welcome to the show. Give us a like and a thumbs up. We're getting everybody on the same page here. We're giving away the information for free. Is Gafford and Shaq okay in the same lineup? Absolutely, especially if he's starting. But I don't want to get overboard on Gafford. I just want to throw in that I like him for tournaments. Shaq is the play that's safer, but I also think is dangerous enough to where we could have some fades in some GPP spots. Although, again, probably going to be at half of my lineups as of right now, unless we hear some other major news. Just signed up for RotoQL. Love it. Look at this. K9 Bronco. Signing up already. I hope you use the code BobbyFi. Get that 30% off, and let's get it going. All right, Jay Richardson. Absolutely. If first of all, Richardson's in play if for some reason Ben Simmons plays. He's a solid play, especially on DraftKings at 42, and you've got him at 5K on FanDuel. Interesting over there. Sheets, Carmen, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Sheets is out on vacation. He's getting back from Singapore tomorrow, and we'll have some videos for you guys tomorrow. In addition to our live shows we're doing here, we're also going to have some sweat shows coming up, both with QLTV and on my own channels. But QLTV, that's going to be really, really awesome. We're going to get some, look, when we're going to win $100,000 or likely $1 million at one point, we want to enjoy that together. And if any of you guys have a sweat, hit me up on Twitter, make it public, and I will get you guys out there. We're going to let the people know about you too. How many bulls are too many bulls in one lineup? Good question, Eric. Depends on how you're running back the other side of it. I would probably say at some point you want to look at the PJ Washingtons, you want to look at the Terry Roziers, the Devontae Graham. I think that I'm giving the edge to Rozier and Washington because the prices. I do like Bridges, but I feel like the price is a little less interesting. Maybe a little bit of an interesting play on FanDuel. Again, the guy's always under-owned and just is coming into his own. One of my biggest regrets is I played the rookie sophomore slate and I somehow did not play Miles Bridges as my captain, the new Draymond. I was like, oh no. I mean, this guy has got a bright future. He's much better than everyone else thinks. This is a hot take and everyone's going to think it's crazy. He's the best player on the Hornets for the future. He's their best building piece. He's their best piece. Better than Graham, better than Rozier, better than even PJ Washington, who I like also. But I think that's really the guy to build around. Anyway, just sort of wanted to throw that one out there. Thoughts on Bam and Val? I love that for tournaments. I think it's really high risk. Not high risk. I think you're going to get a big game out of Embiid. But so you're trying to get around that. You can do it by saving there and doing things different elsewhere. So I do like that for tournaments. Not sure I'm going to get to it. I have a little bit more of Bam and Embiid or something like that, a little more chalky in that spot. But I do have some other pivots, and I'm going to get into them in a little bit. Guys, really appreciate people keep jumping in. So I'm going to get everyone in here to give us the like. We have a chance to, our like conversions for viewers are extremely high. So let's keep that going. I'm going to keep reminding you about the likes because this is something we can actually, we take a little bit of pride in. Sato, a little bit for GPPs, agree with Eric there. I like him as well. Draymond, I think, is really abrasive asked about Draymond. I think he's a really interesting GPP play. I would not play him unless I was probably playing 1 or 2 or 3 Rockets, which I do have in certain lineups. Guys, keep throwing some questions in. I'm going to get back to a few BetQL items at hand. We're only going to run for probably another 10 minutes, so we're going to make this a little bit rapid fire. So get your questions in now because I want to make sure I get to every single one of them. So let's do it. And I am hopped up on coffee because, believe it or not, on this long break, I actually had very, very little rest. And I spent a lot of time with my daughter. I had my girlfriend visit. And now I'm going to a wedding tomorrow night, and I'm going to be gone for a few days, and I'm still going to be doing shows. But it's just, I haven't slept. I'm not going to sleep much. I've sort of succumbed to it. So I'm just coughing myself to death right now. So that's where I'm at. But hey, I got a good feeling about tonight. I think we're going to make some money. Bialicha paired with PJ on FD, says Eric. I actually love that combo and have that combo in some lineups, so I can approve. And I can do it saying I can actually show you that lineup, but I'm not going to show my lineups on this particular show today, but we will be doing that on other shows. And I know that's one of your guys' favorite parts, so I'm very sorry not to be able to do it today, but I will be doing it upcoming days, I promise, whether it be with QLTV or on my own network that you guys are on. I also have my site coming out soon, which is something I'll talk about at another time, but I want to let you guys know it's just going to be basically a free site that's giving you information about DFS. That's pretty much it. And the one thing you won't have is some of the BetQL, RotoQL stuff that you're going to get on over here. And this stuff is obviously very valuable, has already made me a lot of money. I'm going to talk real quickly about some other potential bets tonight, just from my perspective, and then sort of give you a hint about what BetQL thinks, but I don't really want to give away the goods. We mentioned I like the Warriors plus 10, and I like the over. I especially like the over better than I like the Warriors plus 10. We talked about that. We talked about if you have to make a bet on the Kings game, you lean Kings maybe and maybe the over, but I think it's a lay. Stay away from me. I lean 76ers, and I want to give away the points. Don't absolutely want to go nuts with this game, but I do think that the Sixers as a money line bet for sure. I don't even care about how little I'm getting back. I think it's just a very safe bet. They're 25-2 at home. This Nets team is not going to come in there and beat them, in my opinion. But I mean, if they make it competitive, it becomes an interesting DFS game, especially for Dinwiddie and Levert. But just wanted to throw that out there. We've also got the Bulls and Hornets, which is a game that I like for DFS, even with the low totals, and we've talked about it because the Bulls are obviously in play at these prices. I'm going to just keep going back to this. Maybe Luke Cornett gets the bump, and maybe people aren't going to play. You know what? Now people in the ownership's picking up on him when I look through my projection, so they might actually like him a little better. But it's a game where if I was betting, I would probably stay away from these two teams. They're not good enough to be going on this. Another one I want to get into is the Heat and Hawks. This feels like a low spread to me. I don't know why the Heat are only minus 6.5. It feels like the kind of team they can pretty much manhandle even on the road. I think this might be a bet that I would actually make tonight. And I'm gonna, you know what? I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm gonna make my case here. The Hawks are terrible. The Heat are good. There's the end of story. It's too low a spread. To be honest, unless somebody's hurt, which I don't know about, I can't imagine what it is. I think this is just too low of a spread, and I think we have to take advantage of bets like this. Let's see what the BetQL people have think about it, but this is one that I'm very, very high on. I just don't understand how you only have them at 6.5. I feel like this is a spot where I could have seen it, not probably at double digits, but like getting close there. I know they're on the road, but we're talking about the Hawks. And the Heat are the kind of team that can beat the hell out of teams that play fat. Like they did it to the Rockets twice. This is the kind of matchup where you expect the Heat. And I'm not looking at all the betting trends right now because I don't want to give away everything. And the funny part is I'm in disagreement with some of the BetQL people here, which they're not heavy into it, but they like it. And they seem to be leaning the other way towards the Hawks a little bit. I'm not going that route myself. If you do think the Hawks are going to cover the spread, I would encourage you to game stack the hell out of this in DFS because I don't see how like 2 or 3 Heat don't go nuts against this Hawks team, and they're too cheap, especially on DK with Bam. Bam, who's going to put up 40 plus he'll put up 40 plus, but he might put up 60. Butler's going to put up 40 plus, but he might put up 60 if that's what's going to happen, especially if the Hawks to cover. And if you like the Hawks to win by any chance, I think you should almost exclusively just bet on this game today for DFS and then filter in other pieces. Because if you really think that's the way the game plays, they're going to rely on Butler then, and then you're going to get the usage out of Butler and Bam. And at these prices against this Hawks defense at that pace, it's basically impossible how they don't get there. It's only a matter if someone else gets more there. We're going to jump over and answer some questions. One thing I really like about this show, guys, really appreciate it. Get the likes up there. Again, get up there. We've increased by our viewers every time, and it's going to be more and more. So make sure we're getting the questions in now, and we'll take advantage of this free opportunity. And while you're at it, if you guys want the good information, go over to BetQL people. They can tell you what the actual trends are, what to bet on, who all the sharp bettors are on, who the public's on. We can find out every detailed information. It's a one-stop shop for your sports betting information, and I think that it's a great one. It's literally the only thing I use. So I'm not just saying that. That is 100% the truth. All right, Trae Young, run it back with Jimmy and Bam. Boom, boom. I love it. Especially like it on FanDuel where you might not have the ownership on these guys that you do on DraftKings. Favorite DFS game stack, I could make a really good argument for a lot of them. I'm going to take a quick look at what I've got the most of. It's sort of different. Like I have a lot of mini stacks, so I don't know what we're counting as game stacks today. I'll take this opportunity to give you some ownership on some players that I like. Joel Embiid, obviously very high on. I honestly can't understand how the field is not even higher on him. Shaq Harrison, obviously. I love De'Aaron Fox tonight, and I think the ownership is somehow going to come down. Like I thought it was going to be like 40%, and I think it's going to be less. I'm really excited about De'Aaron Fox at 7,400. I feel like he's 40 to 70 waiting to happen, and I really do mean 70 as a possibility. Josh Richardson, I like very much. I like Jimmy Butler very much. I love Terry Rozier's price, although I didn't end up playing him as much as I thought because my runbacks from Chicago, like Levine's price makes it a little tricky, but I do like Levine a little bit as a runback. The Chicago runbacks I wanted to use, though, I guess there's just a lot of good plays in the slate is basically the best way to put it. I mean, you've got Derrick Rose at 5.9, who is in the same category. Bam Adebayo, Tobias Harris, Robert Covington, PJ Washington, Russell Westbrook, Christian Wood. Those are all players that I expect to have more than 30% of tonight where it stands. So, again, you guys are hearing everything there. How many chalk players do you use in one lineup? In basketball, it's different. You want to be a little bit chalkier than you do in other sports, but you don't have to be. There are a lot of ways to skin a cat. I just don't know what that expression is, but that is the appropriate usage of it. So I'm just going to say that. We're going to go a couple minutes over because I'm into talking right now and I'm having a good time with you guys. So you can use, like, I won a tournament the other night where I only had one player. It was a tournament with, I actually finished second in a tournament with, I think it had 70,000 people, and I only had one player below 10%. So lineup construction has a lot to do with things. I just wanted to point that out. Another thing we've got, Fox or Jaw. It's Fox, but I do like Fox and Jaw as part of a game stack, so I wanted to point that out. This is the last chance to get in some questions because I'm going to get out of here soon. I'm just going to say one other thing, though. I do want to point out that this premium access, I think there are better sports bets out there than maybe I was willing to talk about at first. Some of the over-unders, which we really didn't get into, and some of what the sharps liked, because I can't give away the information for free. But just trust me when I tell you that I am going to put my personal money on the 76ers money line. I don't think I'm going to even bet the spread, to be honest. I think I might throw in a little bit on it, but I think I'll just take free money. I really just think they win the game. I don't care that I'm not getting much back. And I'm going to take the Heat -6.5 at the Hawks. I also want to take the Heat and the money line. There's no way they're losing this game, in my opinion. And I want to take the Warriors +10. I want to take the game to hit the over, but I'm much more into the over than I am the +10. QQ, can you pivot to Svi from? Absolutely. Svi is an interesting pivot. It looks like with that, guys, we are at our height of viewers, but we are going to get out of here. We're going to keep you wanting more. Hit me up on Twitter at BobbyFi. Hit me up on this QLTV. I'm leaving the stream open for a few minutes after, so we'll have some more questions. But there's going to be late news. There's going to be questions. Just do not DM me, please, because I can't answer questions one at a time, that many. But I would love to answer questions general, because a lot of times I get the same questions. So you're helping everybody else out too. But look, that's the way it's kind of got to be, because I cannot answer personal DMs. Otherwise, I wouldn't get to do anything else. Any strategy for playing the tiers contest? Not really going to get into that one today, Nick. I think I can't prove that it's positive EV yet, so I'm just sort of out on it. At least my style of playing it. I don't really like touching it, to be honest with you. Oscar asked if will have player pools for subscriptions. Absolutely. It is something I'm going to do. I cannot promise when, but it is something I will be willing to do at some point. Right now, we're doing things for free, so it's not where we're at yet. Hey, my favorite number, 22 likes, is what we're currently at. I hope we end up with a few more. But we got a few questions coming in, so I'm going to answer them before we do get out of here. Taking a quick breath. Guys, there's a lot of energy expending. I really, really love talking to you guys, but it's so fun, but it's also like this takes a lot of energy. All right. And I'm not saying feel sorry for me. Feel lucky for me. I'm thrilled. You guys are awesome. Sorry if that came out like a complaint. It's hashtag white people, annoying white people problems, and I don't want to be that person. And any strategy for playing the tier? You already asked. I already read that one. Thoughts on Dinwiddie if playing a Philly stack? Yeah, that would be who I'd run it back with naturally on DraftKings. I think that with the pricing and position scarcity, or not scarcity because they're both strong, but I prefer the price a little bit better for LeVert on FanDuel. Real quickly, I wanted to answer the other guys' questions about FanDuel earlier today. Westy, Rocco, Wiggins, Draymond game stack. Yes. I think it's probably. I think you actually might want to throw in, if you're going to play Wiggins and Draymond, I would throw in a PJ Tucker, because I think that you might even get another Rocket who gets there. So look, we play high variance. That's how you win tournaments. So that's what I would recommend. You guys, please, before you get out of here, if you haven't liked and given us a thumbs up yet, I'm going to come and hunt you down. I never give myself that kind of credit, but I do try to do everything I can with as much energy as possible. Good stuff, man. Thanks a lot, Oscar. Appreciate it. Thanks for the words about the good content. Guys, really appreciate you hanging out. Let us know what you want to see. Write me on Twitter. Hit the BetQL and RotoQL people up. Tell us what we could do better. Tell us what we could do worse. We're here to make your life better, and we're here to do the best we can to talk about BetQL and RotoQL and how they can benefit your sports betting experiences. We're going to make money off of it. I made, like I said, 6 figures my first week back with the company. Or not back with the company. For my first week with the company. I'm not saying that everybody's going to do that, but why not? Could be you, so let's do it. Favorite game target of the night? Again, Eric, it's a little tricky for me because I'm looking at more mini stacks than anything. So I really like all the games. I think the Houston Golden State is picking up in my look. The spread is jumping too a little bit up. That's the one that I would sort of target I think that there is a lot, and honestly, look, I know it's after the All-Star break. We're probably not going to get late information again. But I do really like both late games, and in case there was any late information, maybe I'd give them a little bit more of an edge. And that Miami Atlanta game is starting to drop in terms of point spread. Just wanted to point that out real quick, down to 6 now. Really like Miami now. And actually almost getting worried that someone might be out because I honestly think it's too low. I think it should be 8.5, 9. And even then, I would probably still be interested a little bit in Miami. I think this is a game that they just freaking roll. Anyway, guys, really excited to be doing this with the BetQL and RotoQL people. Again, sorry to some of the BetQL people for having to talk a little DFS, but that's who a lot of our users are. I'm glad they're already converting, though. At least they're converted users now, so that feels good. We've got guys like the K9 Bronco, look, some good people out there. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here in just a minute, but I really just, again, want to say thanks, and please, before you leave, thumbs up. We appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck tonight. We'll see you at the top of the leaderboards.